Hello. I'm Betty Dahlem Desbiens, and I first saw this place about 30 years ago. The center is named after my two parents, John and Mary Dahlem. They were great environmentalists before it was popular. I grew up going out camping, and that meant just with a tent. And I remember following my parents and my two brothers and two sisters along a muddy trail, and I was the last one, and I was just going, and someone said, "Oh, look, Betty lost her shoe." And sure enough, I had lost my shoe in the muddy path, and I didn't even realize it. I guess I just was still chugging along.
Chugging along.
Well, part of this 300 acres that we lease from the college is a farm. There's an old farmhouse and several old barns there. And I don't know, for some reason or another, people wanted to have a farm where they could have organic vegetable gardens. And that ended up with our wonderful community gardens. And there are how many plots?
Well, there's about 40 plots now. There were 48 to start with, and
How large are the plots?
the plots are 20 by 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably, I'd say, 60 people on the property every single week during the summer. The community gardens have been around for almost 12 years now.
Oh, yes.
And people learn about gardening, how to garden organically without pesticides, and how to benefit the wildlife, butterflies, pollinators, and take home their own produce. They can grow whatever they want on the property.
Well, what are some of the vegetables that they do grow at the community gardens?
Well, it would start with good old green beans. We have tomatoes, we have green peppers, we have onions, leeks, squash of all varieties, pumpkins, watermelons, cantaloupe. Peas are a big thing at the gardens.
Now, I see lots of deer around that area. Don't deer like your vegetables?
Yes, they would love those vegetables, but there's a 12-foot deer fence, and that's what it takes in Michigan to keep the deer out of your vegetables.
My name's Nate Harper-Brees. My wife and I have had a plot here at Dahlem for the past 2 years. This will be our third year this year. For us, it made a lot of sense to get a plot. We've always loved having homegrown vegetables and feel like it's an important part of our lifestyle. We love bringing in the harvest each time we come in, and it helps us get outside and enjoy the outdoors more. So it's been a really good fit for our family, and we think it's a wonderful place for anybody to come and community garden.
Most of our community gardeners live in the city, so this gives them an opportunity to have their own vegetable garden. I know one member who happens to be a physician, and she said that every morning before she goes to work, she goes out to her garden and does a little gardening, and it just brightens her whole day.
Absolutely. I think it's important for people to learn to grow their own vegetables. We don't know what the future is going to hold environmentally, sadly to say in some cases, but it's really important that people are able to learn out at the Dahlem Gardens and be able to preserve their own foods and learn what it takes to be part of the environment.
If we haven't met before, my name is Erin, and I run a nursery just west of Jackson called Umbel Nursery Farmstead. So if you've been to our table, we are selling fiber, tinctures, elderberry syrup. We have a background in herbs and herbal medicine. So if you go to our nursery, you will see all the annuals for sale, trees and shrubs in general, kind of things you would expect in a nursery. And we also carry organic vegetable starts. And this year, our medicinal herb section will be almost 60 plants. Has anyone wanted to grow fruit? Have you ever felt like you would love to grow some fruit? Absolutely. An apple or a pear or berries or things like that? Well, there are a lot of resources out there. And what we're looking at here is basically starting from before you have the tree or taking an older tree and creating a garden for it. So using the spaces that you have in your yard to integrate things that you want, such as fruit, herbs, medicine, vegetables, and then creating that around your orchard space to provide not only nutrients for yourself, for your family, but for the plants. So let's talk about this sort of the baseline of every garden is the soil. You've heard the mycelial mat conversation, so you know that there's a fungal component to this.
I normally do an hour-and-a-half class on this, and it would be Mushrooms 101. We're gonna very much break down into simple terms mushrooms and why it is important to support mushrooms on our land. If you have, say, the mother tree, there's a mother tree. If you go up to Hartwick Pines, they have their mother tree, and they know that those trees fed all the trees around it because of the mycelial mat. So specifically, tilling will kill your mycelial mat. So when we talk about no-till gardening, the biggest thing with no-till is yes, you don't want to kill your earthworms and all the biodiversity that's under the ground, but you also don't want to kill off your mycelial mat because it's connecting all the root systems and the environment to birds, pollinators, all these different things that are really good for our gardens.
Hi, I'm Maureen, and this is Elizabeth, and we're the farm managers at Hearthstone Farm. Hearthstone Farm, this is our 40th year raising all natural foods, fruits and vegetables. This year we're offering boxes of fresh food that you can come pick up every week. We also have eggs, beautiful eggs. Aren't they pretty? We're going to be raising Christmas and Thanksgiving turkeys. There's a market out on Chapel Road, so if you don't want to buy a box of food, you can always come out and pick up a tomato or two, or peppers, or whatever it is you want. I think the most important thing is eating food that I know where it came from and I know what goes into it. You're not contributing to fossil fuels being used for shipping and for driving cargo different places. It's right here. All of the energy is staying right here.
Hi, I'm Jason Kaloran with Willow Garden. I came out here to the Dahlem Center today to tell everybody about our farm. My wife and I run a certified organic vegetable farm just over on the other side of Hanover. I spent 2 years in Eastern Europe where I got to see a lot of small farm operations. I was really inspired over there to come back and connected with my family and started a little bit of a farm business on some of their land. And over the past 10 years have grown it considerably to the point where now my wife and I are living full-time growing produce and serving our community with organic produce, plants, and sugar products like maple syrup and honey. Come by, we do farm tours, and we are happy to take orders online and try out some of our tomatoes come summer. Look us up, shop online, and see what we got.
Everything that people have mentioned today is part of this conversation. So creating soil with your mushroom allies, your pollinator allies, making sure that you're keeping in mind that all of these things are there to help you. They're not working against you necessarily. And the more habitat you provide for that, the more benefit you're going to get for yourself.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.